I've seen really small SMEs winning quite big contracts against traditional providers. You don't win with bluffing at all in this space. If you have a clear strategy, you will win and you will keep winning. And it is a very lucrative industry.
Hello everybody, welcome to Business Voices TV. I'm here with Mike from Easol today, and we're going to be talking about all things tendering and whether you want to get into tendering and some slightly hidden tips and techniques that might help you if you want to go down that route. Now, Easol is a company that supports people and they have a product, which we will put some information in for you, that does trawl and find tenders for companies. So if this is something you're interested in, this is where you need to be. Mike, hi, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So nice of you to come in, thank you. So I think the main question is for people who perhaps want to get into tendering, but they're not sure maybe where to start, or they've tried a couple and it hasn't gone well. With your experience, what would you say to people? What advice would you give?
So a couple of things. Tendering is like any other business customer sale. You need to know your customer. If you don't know your customer, tenders can be very difficult. So you'll see opportunities, particularly for government funding, and you'll be in a position where you can consider whether you should bid for it or not. The key decisions in that are, do you know the customer? Have you got a good fit? Have you got a good fit for the product?
Right.
But it is a great opportunity, and I say that, to look at new opportunities, new different areas, different regions, different problems. It's a good way of testing the market for your value propositions.
Okay.
So for me, it's about going out and looking what tenders are out there, doing a really sensible structured review and working out how you can go about writing a good high quality proposal that will be suitable for the client.
Okay. And I know it takes a long time, doesn't it? I know for a little bit about it. I know companies that have done this, and some of these proposals can be quite laborious. And I think mainly it's because they ask all these, have you got this qualification? Have you got this accreditation? So that will help you to make decisions, I guess, about whether that's the market you want to be in, right?
Absolutely. There's two things to look at. There's have you got a good fit for what they're requiring? And two, commercially, can you do what is asked? And commercial requirements for these tenders can often be quite a high bar.
Right.
So making sure you have the appropriate certifications, the appropriate locations, the appropriate social values. This is not to try and put people off, but this is to just make people assess each opportunity in the round and decide when you're ready to go for it.
Right. Bluffing is not a good technique.
You don't
right?
win with bluffing at all in this space.
What
I'd
happens
love
if
to
you win
do
it?
that. But I would say there are processes. There's an opportunity. It's a numbers game. Go and do one, learn from it, improve your processes. Go and do another, learn from it, and do better.
Right.
And what you'll find is it's a numbers game. You do it over a couple of years, and you will find where you're strong. You will develop the commercial processes so that you can apply really quickly. You'll know which councils, governments, organisations, businesses are putting out tenders and be ready to go. So it's about being ready. It's about having the information in the backdrop and going for it, and recognizing there is a high probability of loss,
Right.
but when you win and you've got the process right, you will win continuing.
Right. Okay. And I guess if you've got your first tender, if you are successful, and it could take, it's unlikely to happen first off the bat, right?
Correct.
Very unlikely. When you win your first tender and you're actually delivering, I guess that puts you on the radar.
Yeah, so often you'll learn so much. You'll be inside the customer area. You'll know the kind of things that made you win it. You'll know why you won it. You'll know what part of your proposals worked.
Right.
Factor those in, and then when you do it next time, it'll be quicker, and it'll be quicker the next time. It is a process.
Yeah.
You can't just see an opportunity, bid for it, be disappointed, then wait for the next one to pop
And just
up.
give up, right?
Yeah, don't get that.
I'm not doing that again.
I've seen it happen everywhere.
Yeah, I
you know.
imagine. Yeah.
And to give an example, I had a really big opportunity in government. It took me nearly 2 years to get the design, the structure. We got bounced once, rejected. We learned, we went again, and it was worth the effort over the 2 years. But you have to think in those kind of timeframes for the bigger opportunities. For the smaller opportunities, it's about speed, getting them structured, being open to the fact you can learn as part of the process. As you do with your value proposition, sales and contracting is exactly the same thing.
Okay. Are you aware of, or are there proper boundaries that a small business needs to be aware of that are in place? Like, is there a limit where people have to go to tender, or is it a certain type of business has to go to tender? I mean, this is going out to people you may not have even considered tendering as part of their process at the moment.
So pretty much any government opportunity you are
Has to go to
required to tender. Private
Okay.
sector companies tend to like to do it
Okay.
as a way of ensuring best price and optimizing the supply chains.
Right.
So if you're looking for large organizations or you're looking for any government contracts, that is the
Yeah.
best way of doing it. And that
Okay.
is the common practice.
Okay. And I've heard a lot about waiting. And I don't mean waiting as in la 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 la, where are you? But there's something to do with waiting and scoring and things like that as well. Can you shed a bit of light on that for me?
So the process within when you're on tender, so when you're on the business side or the government side, what you will do is you'll get the proposals back and you will score them. And there are quite structured scoring processes.
Yeah.
And they will then score you and then they will work out the weighting of those questions. So what they might say is 60% is quality of your proposal, 40% is price.
Okay.
And what they will
Is
then...
that truth?
Honestly, they generally, government have to, and they're audited against it.
Okay.
So will most
They have to
businesses
prove why
be.
they made this decision for this particular company. Right?
Absolutely, and they will make a decision therefore over value on quality in that equation. So you might have the best proposal ever, but if someone offers it really cheaply,
Right. Okay.
they will more likely win.
Right. Okay. I see.
And so that's often how the process is. And they nearly always, all the organisations define those parameters beforehand. You can explicitly ask for them. They're often in the tender. So it's a little bit of a game at that point and going, okay, where do I add quality into the proposal versus where do I reduce the quality and reduce the price?
Okay.
And
And
really,
does it show you that on the tender document? Will you be aware of where they're going to be focusing their efforts?
nearly all of them propose it. If they don't, a lot of them, especially when they're bigger, they'll do opportunities for asking questions.
Okay.
Expressions of interest or questions. And if
Right.
you put proposals in and questions, they have to send the responses out to everybody.
Okay.
And you can ask questions like that. So if you need any kind of clarity, that's a great
Where's
way
your
of
focus
doing it.
area? Yeah, I've seen somebody, I think I was involved with one of your company proposals we actually did. And I think we wanted to know how many suppliers are you looking to engage with? Because from the from the beginning proposal, the request, like the interest level, it seemed to us that they weren't really asking for one provider. They seemed to be asking for several because they were asking for such a broad range of experience. I was like, who is going to be able to do all of that? So again, I guess that's quite important to know because maybe then if you can go with a collab that you already have built, you're in a stronger position.
Yeah, and another good recommendation, I think you've touched on something really interesting there, is partnerships.
Right, okay.
If you see an opportunity in network rail that you're interested in going for and you've got something that works but you've never worked in that industry, find a partner that has.
Oh, I love that.
They'll have case
That is
studies.
a really good tip.
They'll have things that can support your proposal. You can lead, they can lead,
With
and you
their
decide
name
what
as
to do.
well.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Because a lot of these, they will score you based on credibility and quality, and that comes from history and evidence.
Sure.
So hence we say it is a difficult game to play. Previous people who've worked in that industry are going to be naturally scoring higher. So if you're trying to come in and disrupt, you've got to offer something new, cheaper price, or have a way of creating case studies that support why they should switch to an alternative provider who maybe they've never worked with in the past.
It helps to have somebody they do know
It
as part of the proposal. So realistically, I mean, to me, it sounds like something you get your teeth into, but to other businesses, it might sound, oh my goodness, that's a heck of a lot of work. And it is. We're not going to sugarcoat it. It's a lot of work and it will take a lot of time and it will take a lot of effort, especially the first few you do, because you're having to gather all of this together. And I know, making a library of it, so in future it's not quite so challenging. But realistically, can a small business really compete and do these tenders, do you think?
There are so many stories of small SMEs who I've worked with, who I've seen, who are very successful in doing this.
Okay.
But it's being very intentional about it. It's recognizing that you will probably fail and not beat yourself up, learn from it and go again. And I think I've seen really small SMEs winning quite big contracts against traditional providers.
Really?
If you really have the right strategy and you learn the game, which is what we're really talking about here, learn the game, learn what the customer needs, work out how you influence them, work out how you understand their scoring criteria, work out how you can offer something different.
Yeah.
The opportunities are out there. And honestly, it is a very fertile ground for businesses to be exploring in.
So if it's part of your marketing strategy, I guess what you could do is the 80-20 rule. You could sort of say, I'm going to put 20% of my effort, my sales marketing time effort. So if you give yourself a day a week, you're going to spend a couple of hours in that day on your tender stuff and moving your tenders forward. But I like the idea that you said as well about just looking at them sometimes. What is going on out there?
Yeah.
What opportunities and what projects are there out there? Because that will help you to strategize more about, and your business as well, where do I want to take this direction? Where do I want to take the business? What skill set do I want to have? And you're interesting. You talked about the game, and it is. I understand what you're saying, Mike, about it being a game. How do you learn it? Do you just have to do it? Or
Trial and error, right?
Trial and error.
But I do think there's lots of people who've done it before, and there
Yeah,
are
yeah.
applications and best practice out there. So if you are genuinely serious about doing it and getting into councils and governments,
yeah,
you can learn so much from other people who've done this before. I talk about partnerships, that's a great way of doing it. But
Sure.
also, often these organizations have access for SMEs into them, and you can go and learn about how to tender through them. They will tell you all their secrets. They're really open about it. It's just you've got to go and learn what they want you to hear and what they need you to know, so you've got the best chance of winning the opportunities for them. Because for them, the better the proposals, the better quality the outcomes.
sure. Yeah. And the more choice they've got, the better way they're going to make a better choice. So I know you said about getting to know your customer, and I'm thinking, how ethically would we do that? Because, do you know what I mean? Getting to know who is it we need to know in the tendering camp? Is it the person who puts the tender out, or is it the division that tender comes from? Who do we need to get to know?
All organizations will have a supply chain team,
Okay.
a supply chain manager, and they will often be really quite approachable. They
Okay.
have commercial walls where when a tender's out, you can't perhaps ask them very specific questions and things like that.
That's a bit, yeah.
But generally, they will be really open about, this is how we do it. This is where we push our opportunities out. They often, if they're doing any open forums for SMEs, they will generally tell you about it, and you can go along and meet them. Those are great intelligence to get the kind of insights that you need if you're playing a long game with a client or a certain customer base that you're going after.
Okay. And do they have any events or anything like that you can go to? Supply chain events? Or
Yeah,
anything like that?
always. You'll see them
okay.
there's
So if there's a specific one you want to get into the defence industry or things like that, just keep an eye on all those different events they've got going on.
You
And
know
try and
what?
go meet supply chain.
One of the things I've often seen work really well is just trawl the opportunities that are out there. So if you're looking at defence, for example, go and have a look out there, what is being tendered and where, and use that as your intelligence to say, okay, these are all the opportunities that are coming out. These are the ones that could be interesting for us. How do I build up a relationship in that environment to kind of see how I can be ready to go when the right opportunity
right
comes
one.
from me?
Yeah, okay. So for somebody who's watching this who's thinking, okay, I might give this a go. I might have a dabble, because at the end of the day, as we said, it's a long game. You know, the chances of you, the first time you ever go out of the gate and put a tender in, you getting it, is quite low, I would suggest. Not impossible.
No, I think everyone. I
Quite
think people
low.
can win, and,
Yeah.
and I think you've got to emphasise that. But don't beat yourself up when you lose. I think is the magic here.
Yeah. So how do we get started? How would somebody get started if they think, do you know what, I'm gonna give this a punt. I'm gonna make this part of my marketing criteria because I would like to grow. I would like to have these consistent pockets of work. I'd like to engage with X supplier. I want to play with the big boys. So how do you get started?
I'd say two angles. One is there a company you're going after, or a government organisation, or a sector you're going after? Decide on what that is.
Yep.
Then I'd go and do your research on what are the types of opportunities and where are they settled in. Then work out who do you know who you could partner with that
Yeah,
knows that
nice.
sector or
Nice.
that company. Those moves will give you the intelligence.
Right.
They will tell you how difficult it's going to be, what you need to know, what you can learn. There are platforms out there that will help you do some of this process.
Yeah.
But actually, it's about you gaining that intelligence yourself to give you the confidence to know, right, when something like this comes up with this company, I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I have seen some of the platforms, and yes, you obviously get all of the tender differentials and all the information, and you get to download all the packs. I mean, they're immense, some of them, and you think,
Yeah.
have I got like an hour just to sit and digest all of these documents, let alone read them all? There's so much to look through there. So again, I think I like your idea better of being more targeted and saying, I want to work with this industry, not just trawl like tenders and go, oh, that one. What you're doing is saying, I would like to engage with X industry. What have they got going on? Who else knows them? Who are they working with now? And finding that as part of your network. So I think it comes down to building your own network as well in the types of companies that you're interested in that industry, isn't it?
I'd say build yourself a network and have a strategy of what you're trying to achieve, and play. And as you do with your business, play the longer game. And if you do, you will provide more robust approach to winning opportunities. And to your point, you can win the first one.
Yeah.
But then will you win the second, third, fourth? Whereas if you have a clear strategy, you will win and you will keep winning. And it is a very lucrative industry if you can get into it.
Yeah.
If you can start winning tenders and routinely winning tenders, it's very lucrative.
So we should get your prices right.
Yeah, get your prices right and start
Otherwise, it
waiting.
could be the end of you. So get your prices right so that you're not taking on something that you actually can't deliver. You know, be realistic, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. You've got to believe what you can offer is exactly what they want and you can deliver it to the quality. Because if you don't deliver to the quality, the case study's not there for future tenders.
Sure.
So it is about delivery and quality, etc. But it's up to you to decide what your strategy is, what your price point is, and how you can deliver that service into them.
Brilliant. So very last question Mike can ask you. So as of Easol, how can you help us?
So we, over the last few years, we've been bidding for loads of opportunities in government. We work across government, so we've got a really good understanding of how grants work, how tendering works. And over the course of that, we've ourselves developed an application that trawls for tenders, helps develop strategy, helps develop partnership models and engagement. And we're now starting to roll that out to organisations. So we can offer advice, support, and an application if individuals are looking to experiment in this space and try and see if the tendering opportunities are of interest for them as a business.
Beautiful. Okay, well, thank you for all your knowledge. And what we'll do is we'll just put a little link up on the screen so if anybody does want to engage with you, they know where you are.
Brilliant.
But thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.